Today we're going to finish the story of Joseph by talking about his reunion with his brothers. But first I want to talk about hurt and forgiveness because there's a lot of that in this story. And I want to use this balloon. Whenever others are mean to us or say unkind things about us or treat us unfairly, we can be filled with pain and sadness. What are some things we do to hurt other people? Say them out loud as I fill this balloon. You can see how full our balloon is now. All of the mean things build up inside of us. But whenever we learn to let go of anger, or whenever we ask God to help us forgive others, it can help us. Whenever we share our hurt with God and we ask God to forgive us, our pain and our hurt can maybe even go away. Forgiving others is really important, and asking to be forgiven is also really important. It can be hard, but it's worth it. Instead of me telling you the story of Joseph reuniting with his brothers, I'd like you and your family to read it. Take a look at the first printout page for this story. It looks like this. Read through the story, and we will talk about it once you are done. So the 7 years of famine had come, and everybody was in need of food. That's what brought Joseph's brothers to Egypt. And thanks to God's gift of understanding dreams, Joseph was able to plan for this famine. He was able to help the people of Egypt and the people of other countries, including his brothers. But he had to forgive his brothers in order to help them. God wants us to help people even if those people have hurt us in the past. Often it is necessary to forgive them in order for us to help them. And that can be challenging. I'd like to tell you a story about a time in my life where I had to forgive somebody in order to help them because that's what God wanted. I had a minister friend whenever I lived in Texas who had said some things to me that were not very nice. And I was hurt by what they had said. And we didn't talk for many years. And eventually this person came to me and said that they needed my help. Now at first I didn't want to help them because I remembered this time that they had hurt me. But I knew that God needed me to help this person. And so I had to pray to God to forgive. I had to ask God to help me forgive this person for the hurt they had caused me so that I could help them. And you know what happened? God helped me do that. God's love and God's forgiveness and mercy helped me understand that the hurt they had caused me wasn't the big deal that I had made it. And I was able to put it behind me so that we could be in relationship together. And so I was able to help this minister friend of mine, and we have a good relationship today. Forgiving people can be really hard when they have hurt you. But God needs you to do that so that you can help them now and in the future. So that is what this story about Joseph and his brothers teaches us. The importance of forgiveness so that we can help others. For our craft today, we're going to make Joseph's heart when he saw his brothers. To do that, we'll need 5 sheets of paper. You can use the colors I have here or any colors that you have. You also need something to write with, glue, and scissors. Also, some Scotch tape is helpful. What we're going to do is stack the papers and tape them together so they don't move as we cut out our heart. Make sure that they are lined up well. Now let's draw a heart. Take your time and make sure it is even on each side. You may decide that your heart is too small, as I do here. That's okay, just flip over your papers and try again. There we go, that's better. Now let's cut out the heart. That last little bit can be tricky, I guess. There we go. Now let's take the hearts and decide which. Oh great, my marker bled through. What are we going to do? I was going to use that as the base. Okay, let's decide on a different color to use as our base. Let's go with, oh come on Seth, make a decision. Alright, orange. Orange it is. Take one of your other hearts and cut a strip off. Now glue that strip on your base. Make sure you get it lined up right so it fits. Now take your next color and the remaining heart from the first strip and line them up. And cut off the strip that has already been used from the second color. And now you're going to cut a new strip of the second color. Make sure it lines up well and then glue it in place. Perfect. And now repeat all of that with the third color. And now let's draw a smaller heart in the white heart. And we'll cut out the smaller white heart and glue it right in the middle. Perfect. Now let's label our colors. The first color is love. Joseph loved his brothers even though they had sold him. Love is powerful and it remains, but he was also sad, which is the second color. He was sad because his brothers had sold him and because they were in such great need. They were hungry and he wanted to help. But he was also nervous, which is the third color. He was nervous because he didn't know how his brothers would react to seeing him alive. And he was also angry, the fourth color. It is pretty obvious why he was angry. His brothers had sold him into slavery. And finally, the white heart in the middle is God's love. God was always with Joseph, filling him with love. Joseph was experiencing all of his own emotions, but God's love was also there. God's love leads us to heal broken relationships, and that is what Joseph did. So that is Joseph's heart when he saw his brothers. He felt all of these emotions at once, and God's love led him to heal their broken relationships. That is how powerful God's love can be if we follow its lead.